perfect day for doing something like this. I'm catching up with my sharpening today. It seems to me that these days many of us spend a lot of time thinking about who we are. Maybe not in a deep philosophical way, more in a quiet sort of background hum. Questions like, what do I do? What am I good for? What do others think of me? What would I say if someone asked who I am without thinking too hard? For many, work answers those questions for us. Your job title becomes shorthand. It gives you a place in the world, a role, a reason to feel needed. But when that changes, though, through redundancy, retirement, illness, burnout, or just time, something underneath it all gets shaken, and suddenly it's not just about money or routine, it's about identity. I think one of the reasons that this hits so hard is because modern life asks us to think about who we are far more than it ever used to. Our worlds have been opened up by the internet. We can now see intimately how other people live, what they do and what they've achieved, and we compare ourselves relentlessly. And there's a danger there. We end up describing ourselves far more than we actually act out being ourselves. But thinking has its limits and its dangers, and you can easily think your way into anxiety, and that's something very difficult to think your way out of. That's where working with your hands comes in. Trouble with wearing gloves is you can't feel how sharp you're getting things. Wow, okay, that's pretty sharp. So the next stage of the process is to use this polishing wheel. It's called Smurfpoo, which is a wax and polishing medium. It's gone to a leather belt here. When your hands are working, doing real work, your mind gets very clear feedback. This has worked, that didn't, try again. There's no abstraction there. The world responds honestly. When I'm here doing practical work, cutting, fixing, sharpening, building, I'm not asking big questions about who I am. I'm responding to what's in front of me. And something interesting happens when you do that long enough. A quiet sense of usefulness starts to return. Not the loud kind, not the performative kind, the grounded kind. I think we've lost that in a lot of modern work. So much effort is now disconnected from the outcome. You send emails, you attend meetings, you push digital things around, and it's not that these jobs don't matter. It's that the feedback loop is broken. You don't always feel the effect of your effort. Your hands don't get to learn. When your hands are involved, learning is unavoidable. They learn pressure, they learn patience, they learn when to slow down, and over time they teach your nervous system something important. You can affect the world, you can make things better, you can restore function. Now that's something profound to how you see yourself. This is why I don't think identity should necessarily be something that you decide. I think it's something that emerges. It emerges from repetition, from responsibility, from doing something well enough that it begins to trust you back. That's not a job title, that's a relationship. This is an old-fashioned tool not many people know about, called a bill hook. It's used for hedging and for coppicing. It's got a mixture of like an axe and a knife, and because of that curve there, when you pull it along things, it makes a nice slice. Out here, the work doesn't curve. who I think I am. It doesn't care about my past roles or achievements. It only cares whether I'm paying attention, whether I'm doing the job properly, whether I've shown up. Now, that's an incredibly freeing thing. And a lot of people come here feeling a bit lost. And I've noticed something over the years. Very few of them need fixing. Most of them need feedback of something tangible. They need to feel useful again in a real way, in a physical way. Working with your hands gives that feedback immediately. You don't need confidence first. You don't need clarity first. You start clumsily, you learn and you improve, and confidence follows after. That order matters. I think we've been sold the idea that we need to figure ourselves out before we act, but nature doesn't work like that. You act, you respond, you adjust, and meaning catches up later. So if work has stopped answering the question, who am I, for you, or if it never really did, I don't think the answer is to think harder. I think it's to give your hands something real to do, something with resistance, something with consequence, something that responds. And you don't need a farm, you don't need land, you don't need to change your life overnight. You just need a place where effort turns into feedback again. And that's where identity quietly rebuilds itself, because in the end, you don't find out who you are by asking the question louder. You find out by doing something real and listening to what the world gives back.